all doing? Welcome back to the YouTube. So in today's video, it is going to be a Q&A, and we do have quite a few questions to get through. I put up a poll, or a quick Q&A box on the Instagram story. I have quite a few, so hopefully this fills up the video quite a bit. Today, it was just a case of holiday shopping, for clothes and stuff. Got a pair of jorts, I got a few items as well. Now, finally, I'm gonna sit down, record this video, and get a bite to eat after, because I am starving. It is 3:30 and I've had 2 meals, so I need to get them in. First question, managing bodybuilding with one kidney. So, if anyone knows the answer to this question, it is Neil who asked, but I'm sure it's just for the video. So, managing the kidney, it is easy and it is difficult because there is certain things I can and can't do. For example, high sodium foods, like having a Five Guys, I really need to make sure that my sodium intake for the rest of the day is quite low, so I can't have it on a training day because it takes sodium in my intra. Having really high sodium causes my blood pressure to skyrocket more than normal. So yesterday, I had a Five Guys for my first off-plan meal since the show, which doesn't count. It doesn't count the meal that we had after the show on the same night. So that's my first meal that I've had since. I've had a few snacks here and there, but first proper meal with my best friend Luke. So it was really lovely. It's small, and I was starving after it, but it is what it is. Managing it, it's very difficult. I can't take certain things other people can, like pharmaceutical diuretics leading up to a show. I can't necessarily have certain foods, like I loved soy sauce and hot sauce. They've been pulled completely because they caused a little bit of issue, which is really unfortunate because like low calorie sauce options, most of them have a lot of sodium for that flavor, like Frank's hot sauce or Tabasco. Even ketchup, I need to watch. I need to get the low sodium, I need to take low salt, it's a nightmare, to be honest, but we get around it. The ability for me to retain water is massive, so it's a case of keeping a very consistent sodium level with the one kidney. What got me into bodybuilding, which is one of the next questions. Essentially, what got me into bodybuilding was the inability to play contact sports. So in second year in school, I snuck onto the team. I essentially just put myself forward for the team, not allowed by the nurse, school nurse and stuff like that, without telling my mum. And then the one tournament, it was like a small blitz tournament, I got concussion and I was brought home on the school team bus, and my sports teacher just said, "Oh, your son got concussion while playing rugby today." That was the end of my rugby career because my mum really went off on the school, so I was known not to play any sports by the sports teachers, the nurse, the entire school knew I wasn't allowed. So then it was a case of whenever I was going into A-levels, doing the sport academy, all the lads were either out playing, football or whatever. I'm not a huge fan of football, so I was actually timetabled gym sessions, which was good, a lot of freedom, able to leave school grounds, go to the gym, have a session or two. But fortunately, my aunt's partner, he owns his own gym, and she's massively into the gym, being a PT coach herself. So she took me in from a very young age, taught me the correct form from the start, and I just fell in love with it. Then me and my best friend Luke, we started the gym together at a young enough age, 15, 16, no clue in the world what to do. But went there, lift weights, nutrition was awful, only really started taking it seriously about 2 and a bit years ago. So yeah, that's what got me into bodybuilding, the inability to play contact sports. Didn't want to be left out, didn't want to be tiny, so started the gym. Do you prefer the prep or the off season? They both have great aspects and they both have very bad aspects. It gets to the point in prep where hunger is so prominent that you just want it to be over. But then the routine that you build, the structure of food timing, that's also important in the off season. But just seeing yourself getting leaner, like all of those things, it's amazing. But with with off season, the longer that you're in it, the harder it gets. Food is going up, you're feeling very lethargic, you're just struggling to get the food in. It is not nice at all. I have found prep easier in its own way than I found my off season. I had a lot of issues in my off season where I didn't actually get a full run at things, to not necessarily see a lot of progress, but keep at it. Just a lot of issues with the kidney, which happens with higher food quantities as well. Proteins and just normal foods having higher sodium, and have to take some things out and try and balance it that way. But in my opinion, I prefer prep, which is crazy, but yeah, I feel like my ability to get leaner is a lot easier than my ability to put on weight, so it makes it easier for me to do prep. My favorite aspect of bodybuilding, so honestly, the progress, just seeing yourself transition from this to that, and then that is now the new starting point, and then you get better. So it's just the progress, to be honest, the people you meet, just the community itself. It is such a small community, but when you're inside it, it seems huge. You're walking around the street in Belfast and you don't see anyone who takes bodybuilding seriously, but then you turn up to an event and the place is packed, all bodybuilders, all like-minded people. It is a very small community, but when you're inside it, it's it's big. But yeah, just the favorite aspect about bodybuilding is the progress, and I suppose how niche it actually is. You don't realize how little or how few people take this sport. So whenever you're in it, it's nice to be in it. Do you do anything differently or personally for optimal recovery at home? So if anyone doesn't know, I do sports massage therapy and sports rehab. I personally haven't. You practice what you preach, but me personally, the only thing I would do is get a sports massage myself at least once a month. I subconsciously catch myself stretching in a weird way. If I'm just sitting on this seat, I have my leg folded and I'm leaning forward while I'm on my phone, just doing like a pigeon stretch. I don't necessarily have a proper structured, optimal recovery routine at home. It is something I need to implement though, because my back, just hips, is tightening up quite rightly. But no, honestly, I don't practice what I preach, so just call out on that one. I need to get back into the swing of things. Now, when I did, there was a whole routine, a lot with a foam roller. It was 20 minutes of foam rolling, and then stretches holding for 30 to 45 seconds for the entire body. And it was every other day I would do this routine, and then a bit of rehab exercises with resistance bands and foam rollers themselves, like opening the lats with the foam roller against the wall, rolling it up, things like that. Just, that's what it used to be, but that's what it's gonna be. Need to get back into it. Favorite cheat day meal? It's not really a cheat day meal, but it's gonna have to be sushi. Just the variety that you can get, it's just perfect. I just love sushi, and then that really hits hard with the sodium levels. I know it's contradictory, but I really need to have some sushi sometimes. And then I wake up the next day, vascularity is through the roof, and then the next day I'm like a water buffalo, just tons and tons of fluid. I wake up like half a stone heavier, just all in fluid. Don't feel great, but the sushi's nice. So yeah, I would have chose something like steak and champ with pepper sauce, but the way things are going, I'm gonna have steak instead of lean beef mince in my program, and then instead of rice, it's gonna be sweet potato fries, or just, it's not really gonna be an off plan by then, so it would have to be sushi. Future aspirations in bodybuilding. So for me personally, I know I'm not gonna make the Olympia stage. I'd have to be so far ahead from where I currently am at my age. There's so many people turning pro at such a young age. It's crazy to see the way the sport's going. Everyone has all the information they need. So unless you do start at a very young age, you're not gonna necessarily make it. Like genetics wise and all of that, I know you can't blame your genetics. Dorian Yates didn't have the best genetics. He won the Olympia, but I know myself, I want to become pro, PCA pro first, you know, win an overall title or two or whatever, how many shows I plan to compete in going forward. That's probably no time soon. And then after that, doing well in a PCA federation, stepping into the NPC, and eventually working my way up to a pro card. Doing a few pro shows. I don't necessarily want to be a huge influencer. Like I do love making these videos, posting a lot on my social media, but as long as I can have the following of the community of being relatively well known, not necessarily famous to the extent there's people running up to me asking for a photo at a bodybuilding show or whatever. It's just like walking into the room and they're like, oh, there's Phoenix, I'll go say hello. That's ideal to me, just being well known in the industry, with, you know, a PCA pro card, eventually an FBB pro card, stepping on, you know, a pro stage, of course, once I attain the pro card, and just having a decent sponsorship from a supplement brand, still posting online. Like, this isn't going to be a full-time job by any means. If it is, like, that'll be amazing. It's not something I'm really working towards because I love my current job, the sports rehab. So if it happens, it happens. You know, I am posting, and with the intent and the amount that I'm posting, it could come. So it would be nice, but it isn't like my future aspiration. It's just to be well known in the industry and attain a pro card eventually. Would you rather fight 100 hamster-sized gorillas or a gorilla-sized hamster? In all fairness, this is going to sound silly, but probably one gorilla-sized hamster. Hear me out. Hamsters are not strong at all. I know they're going to be the size of a gorilla, but if you can just tip it over, like, what's it going to do? It's got short, stubby legs. Realistically, it's not going to try and attack you. It'll have massive gnashers, just need to stay away from those. But 100 hamster-sized gorillas, they would still pack a punch, to be honest. It's like an ant has 1,000 times strength of a human at its size. You know, if an ant was the size of a human, there would be no humans left, you know? So, like, a hamster-sized gorilla will still be pretty strong, and if there's 100 of them, we can just say you can jump up and down and stamp on them, but at the same time, they're going to be fast, very fast. They'll be climbing up you and like putting their big meaty forearms in your nostrils before you know it. So probably the gorilla-sized hamster. I mean, you can let me know what you think, but that's my personal opinion. Coach Callum, how fat is your private area? I'll just say private area. It's YouTube. I don't know what I can actually say. Mia's not here at the moment, so I'd be biased, say it's huge, but she'd give you the real answer. Sure, a DM. It's not right for YouTube. Now this is a funny one. Is Logan Ferguson your biggest op? Now, like, Logan, nothing against the guy, you know, he actually sent me a message about my 5 guys last night, and like, see, to be honest, it's the sport. It is what it is. I think everyone can get sort of in their own heads when it comes to bodybuilding, and it is the sport, it is competitive, fair enough, but at the same time, I don't see anyone as an op. I just do the sport because I love it. So, like, no, don't have any ops. So, Logan, if you're watching this, yeah, all dues. Top 5 anime. So if anyone doesn't know, I watch a bit of anime. It is class. Now I'm actually going to have to pause this video and really think what it's going to be. Don't want to let anyone down because I've watched some very niche things. I'm going to have to put them at the top of the list because most of the non-mainstream things actually are quite good that people just don't know about. I've got a few honourable mentions and then a top 5. So, honourable mention, ReZero, Tower of God, Gachi Okuda, Freerun. And then the top 5 in no particular order: Jujutsu Kaisen, Fire Force, Finland Saga, Attack on Titan. Number 1 spot has to be Hunter x Hunter. Yep, I said it. It is the best anime. So, yeah, that's a lot of honorable mentions. Top 5, there probably is more that could go in there, you know. I'm scrolling through my Crunchyroll account right now, like Dr. Stone, Berserk of Gluttony, Dandadan, Yu-Gi-Oh! Dragon Ball, Mashle, it's actually quite good, Plunderer, Code Geass, Peak, the Tomodachi game, it's like a 12 episode. It's quite good, to be honest. It's like Saw. Anyway, High Card, oh my goodness, Goblin Slayer, One Piece, Berserk itself, like it is peak Naruto, you know, and I haven't finished it, but like, yeah. Next question is natty or not. I have not competed in a natural competition. I could have, I didn't. No is the short answer to that. And it's more recent than not. And then since of the kidney, we are not utilizing a lot. It's very moderate, very, very moderate, but we're making progress. So I'm happy enough with what I'm on. And then I'll do final 3 questions. So what is your current training split? So now that I'm on higher volume post show, I have a lower push pull rest, lower upper rest. So it's a 5-day split. It used to be upper lower, but all the feedback was more thickness through the chest, just general top line. So we are really throwing a lot of more volume into the chest, shoulders, arms, back, quads are a strong point, and glutes. Hamstrings, they're okay, they can come up, everything can come up for everyone. Do you know what I mean? So unless you are sitting above your weight cap for classic physique, and it is the finer minor changes, like even Wesley Fissers had to downsize his upper half to bring up his legs, you know. I'm not nowhere near that by any means, you know, maybe 10-15 years away that'll be the case, but for now it is just bringing more through everything, specifically the top line. So yeah, that is the split. Top 3 gyms you've ever trained at. That's a difficult question because there is a lot of good gyms. I can say the top 3 that I've trained at in the country, so no particular order: the Gym Yuri, the Gym Doc, and Infinity Gym. They are just phenomenal. The pieces of equipment, the atmosphere, unfortunately just all a bit of a drive away. The Doc is where I would train at now, but it's just absolutely worth it. Going to Newry, not so worth it. Going all the way to Bangor, also not so worth it to be my main gym. But a day pass there every so often, it really just opens your eyes again. But in other places that I've trained, my 3 favorites would definitely have to be Ultraflex. I went to Ultraflex Durham, which isn't the best one, but it was still very, very good. Muscleworks in London was unbelievable. And there is a very, very niche gym in Liverpool that I went to a few times. It was just too expensive to go to as a student for the membership price. Cannot for the life of me remember the name. Tried to look it up, cannot think. But posters everywhere. You can't even see the wall. There's posters on top of posters. You walk in and it's like, looks like a museum with all the statues, the trophies, everything, all old school chained equipment. Looks like an old Dorian Yates gym, graffiti all over the wall. It was very, very, very good. You know, all the best equipment, all the old best equipment as well. It would definitely have to be the top 3 that I've ever trained in. I'm, dare I say, you know, the Gym Yuri or the Doc or Infinity could take the 3rd spot overall. Ultraflex isn't too different from the Gym Yuri. You know, it's just the buzz whenever I was there, you know. So those are definitely the best gyms I've trained at. Final question. Are you ever going to make a judo comeback? Short answer is no. I loved it while I done it. You know, it's still something that I see online, you know, highlight reels, and I'm like, that is class. You know, just the thrill of seeing it and then competing in it as well. It is very, very enjoyable. Just wouldn't have the time, and the way the training split is at the moment, it's just not going to work. I know I did say about not allowed to do contact sports, but as I grew up, kind of was able to make my own decisions. Judo was something I really wanted to do, transitioning from Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I preferred, you know, the stand-up. I preferred, you know, the upper half locks and strangles. Whenever I got into the nitty-gritty of like knee bars and ankle locks, I hated it. So that's why I transitioned to Judo. Yeah, it was really, really good. I might just jump into, you know, a competition. I can't even, now that I answered the now or not question, but if there was an untested one, that would be really, really good. But I don't think there is there? You'll have to let me know. But yeah, short answer is no. Anyway, that is the end of the questions. I hope it is going to be a long enough video. I've been recording now over 25 minutes, so it should be. I really enjoyed this. I could make it, you know, like not necessarily a weekly thing, but every other week, bi-weekly, I could do a Q&A. I'm not that interesting of a person, but if you have any questions, I will throw up more. I'll see how the next poll does, and if there's enough to make another video, I'll keep at it. If you enjoy this video, let me know. I'll make more of them. If there's any more personal questions or more just vague, stupid questions you want to ask me, shoot them over. There's plenty of questions that have already been asked for the podcast that's been recorded on Saturday in 2 days. Very excited for it. I leave for holiday the day after. Very, very busy Saturday. I have a family event, record a podcast, travel to Mia's parents' house. Yeah, so, which is down south. It'll be about a 2-hour drive, and then board the plane Sunday morning, very, very early. So busy weekend ahead. Glad to get this recorded. I'm planning to do 3 YouTube videos per week, 2 or 3. Going on holiday, might do a little holiday vlog as well, because why not? It is the off season. What I eat in an all-you-can-eat buffet, all-you-can-eat sushi, steak, pizza. Don't worry, Neil. I will be good. I will be good. Mia has to be good, so I'll follow suit. I'll bring my food scale. Do not worry. Other than that, hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one.